Good morning or good afternoon, whatever time you guys are listening to us. Welcome back to another edition of the Layman's AI Podcast. I am Adam,
And my name is Brian.
and we want to welcome you guys to a pretty special episode. Before we even get into the topic, I want to say up front, this is one of the ones you might want to catch us on our YouTube instead of catching us on our podcast on this one because we plan to show you how to use two specific tools in terms of learning. Today, we're going to dive into a little bit of Perplexity AI, which is a free online search engine that's AI powered. It's pretty cool. It's probably the number one AI tool I use on a daily basis. And we're going to show you how to utilize that with Google's or associated with Google, the Notebook LM, which is a very powerful tool for learning. And we hope to show you some of the unique aspects of that and how you can learn any topic pretty quickly. So I'm going to start with a question for Brian. Brian, have you ever utilized either of these tools before?
Not to a great extent. I'll admit I'm
Hmm.
still kind of learning how to use the tools myself. I've done a little dabbling with NotebookLM, and from what I
Okay.
have used with it, it's a pretty fun tool, actually. It's got a lot of nice little features there, and this is one where I think most people can really get a lot of use out of because
Hmm.
when you tell people, oh, AI, oh, it's like ChatGPT, it's like, no, it's more than ChatGPT. AI is, or I should say, ChatGPT is a form of AI. And, when you talk about things like Notebook LM here, this is one I really think people want to learn, like stuff like this.
Yes.
I think Microsoft also has Copilot notebooks, if I'm not mistaken. That's kind of the same concept as this.
I
I
believe
think,
so. And
yeah,
ChatGPT has, I haven't dove into it yet, but I think they have GPT Study or Study GPT or something like that, which
okay.
may do some of the features. So maybe that's another future episode, these auxiliary tools that you could possibly use.
Yeah, definitely. And this is what I encourage a lot of people to look into. It's like, okay, don't just start, asking ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever questions. It's like
Hmm.
actually use some of these more advanced tools because this is where I think you could really get into a lot of fun with this stuff myself.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. So, before we get too far into this, a couple things I feel obligated to state. First off, this is non-paid. We are not paid by Perplexity or Notebook LM. But as always, if you want to pay us or send us a Starbucks gift card or anything like that, we'll be happy to take that off your hands. And if you want to give us some money, we'll be happy to do that too.
No,
Because
ironic you're bringing up Starbucks.
it
They'll
is
find out.
ironic I'm bringing up Starbucks, isn't
Everyone will
it?
find out shortly why
Yes, that's
but
the teaser.
yes, definitely. But yeah, essentially, Notebook LM, it's a knowledge hub. Essentially, what it is, a lot of people can do this with sort of when you're taking notes during a class and everything. What you could do is you could take all your notes that you type up into like a text document or a Word document. You can upload it, and throughout the entire course, you can upload all the notes you ever took, and then you could tell Notebook
Hmm.
LM summarize all the notes that I took, and it could write a whole summary for you. Even better, it can create a podcast for you, but even more awesome, it can create a video for you. So this
Yes.
is where your input can really drive the AI, and these are the kinds of tools I like personally the most.
And something I want to add because you are the one in charge of what you upload to
Mhm.
this device. It is less likely to hallucinate because it is basing all of its answers off what you gave it. So it goes off the information that you gave it. That doesn't mean there's not hallucinations, though, because if you
Mhm.
give it something that isn't correct, it may regurgitate that for you. So vetting your
Yes.
sources and even your understanding of something prior to putting it into Go Notebook LM, it's
Hmm.
pretty important. It's pretty
Yeah,
important.
definitely.
The more correct your information is that you put into it, the better a tool it's going to perform for you. And
Yes.
I use Notebook LM for a variety of reasons, but in my opinion, this is like an educator's best friend. And if you're a person who authentically loves learning and you want
Hmm.
to learn stuff that they're not teaching you in school, or if you want to just learn something new or something about history, or as tonight we're going to get into our little subject that we came up with, if you
Hmm.
want to learn something, this might be the most powerful tool to get you to learn it quick and in a fun manner and in a way that fits your learning style.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because, like you said, it's what you put into it. Like, if you put a lot of research papers into this, and you put a lot
Mm,
of credible research papers about a subject into this, this can really give you a lot of good information and everything. Not only can you do that, but you can do PDFs, you can do
yeah.
URLs, YouTube videos, audio files, everything.
Websites.
Website
Hmm.
URLs. I did say URLs. I think
Oh, my
so.
bad. My bad. You
Yeah,
did.
that's okay.
You're
I'm a
using that
little,
fancy jargon on me again.
yeah, a little fancy little acronym. I apologize. Websites for the layman.
Yes.
But no, it's yeah, it's definitely, something that's really fun. I would definitely recommend getting into this now. If you're a student, if you're a young professional, really start to use this tool because tools like this are going to be what puts you over the top and what puts AI over the top, in my opinion,
Hmm.
anyways. But like you said, has to be good sources, has to be very
Yes.
good sources. So, like, if you start putting, conspiracy websites, and like papers that aren't vetted or properly or anything without checking the sources, you can still get a bad
Uh,
result, as with
correct.
anything.
Correct. And I guess we should probably start with where can I get some good sources off the bat? Or should we perhaps start with what our topic's going to be tonight?
Yeah, let's just dive right into our topic, I'd say, because
Okay.
this is something that we put together. We kind of tried to throw a few things back and forth.
Hmm.
But what we're going to do is talk about the coffee versus tea consumption in America. And we're putting a number of put together a number of websites. We didn't have enough spare time to put together a lot of research papers.
Hmm.
That might be a future episode. But we're doing coffee versus tea consumption in America. Who well, do we drink more coffee? Do we drink more tea? How much does it cost? Which is healthier? What the effects of the Boston Tea Party had on coffee consumption?
Hmm.
Because in Great Britain, they love their tea, and 1770s American colonies, they didn't like Britain so much.
Yeah, we don't like
So that's
taxes. Imagine that.
yeah, yeah. Imagine that. But yeah, these are basically kind of the subject we put together. And just a disclaimer, right ahead of time, we did not do like a full vetting process of all the sources.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, we
We
did
kind
not.
of looked up about a dozen websites, and found a dozen URLs, just to source. This is strictly for showing you the concept of Notebook LM.
Hmm.
If I was going to do a real research paper, I would, vet sources. I would find, actual research papers, and I would really take the time. We just kind of threw some URLs together, just to show you the concepts of
Correct.
how you can drive a subject,
Correct.
essentially.
And we're going to show you the process of getting good sources right off the bat
Hmm.
that you could vet immediately. We're going to show you how to use Perplexity to get set up. And then in addition to that, we're going to take the URLs, also known as websites, from the chats we've already had, and we're going to plug those into our Notebook LM as well.
Yes.
All right.
So let's get started, Adam.
So
What do
let's
we
get
got here?
started. Let's get started with Perplexity of all things. I know we're talking about Notebook
Okay.
LM, but we are going to start with Perplexity. So
Okay.
first thing I'm going to do is share my screen, and I am just going to pray that this works right. This is Perplexity. What I tell people, Perplexity is Google on steroids, a Google search on steroids, because Perplexity is an AI powered search engine, and I know Google has updated their search engine very well. I believe they still rely on what's called an SEO, a search engine optimizer. So it looks for keywords to get your search. And I do know that there are ways you could pay or manipulate things to get higher up on the list. But Perplexity puts stuff together for you. So I'm just
Hmm.
without further ado, I'm going to type in. I'm going to be very vague on this one, Brian. We're talking
Okay.
about coffee versus tea consumption in the United States.
Yes.
All right. Now that's very vague. With that being said, oh, I spelled it incorrectly. My goodness. Oh, apparently I
Good
didn't
thing
spell it
we have
incorrectly.
AI to correct it.
Amen. All right. So when we do this, what we're going to do is we're going to hit the little button here, and it's going to give us a bunch of sources that talk about this topic already. So I'm going to hit this. By the way, Perplexity is free. There is a paid version, but it is free.
Hmm.
So, Brian, this is your first time looking at this. Look at what it gave me.
Yeah, very
Charts,
nice. I see
graphs,
some charts, graphs.
a
Has some
summary of what it pulled
URLs.
up,
Yes,
a-
nice summaries there.
and the direct
Got
sources.
links. Oh, and it's got links. Very
It
nice.
has links, so it knows where your sources came from. So you know where your source came from. So when it says 66% of American adults drink coffee on a daily basis, averaging around 3 cups per day. I don't think that's true. I think it's more than that. I think it's more
Eh,
higher percentage of 66.
perspective, I say.
I'd say so, yes. But with that said, it said it came from this source as well as three others. So without even vetting this, it tells me it's probably on the accurate side just because it took four
hmm
sources that said the same thing.
Yeah, that's a very nice tool right there. And I know we've been kind of adamant that any of these AI tools, when they come up with a conclusion or give you a snippet or whatever, show your sources on where you're getting this from.
Hmm.
Because I am very adamant about LLMs and other kind of Perplexity and search engines doing stuff like this. So I'm very impressed that Perplexity does take that step and hey, here's the sources, look for yourself. Because
Absolutely.
that's always nice.
Absolutely. And if just going down to tea consumption real quick, it does appear as if about 47% of Americans regularly drink tea, making it the
hmm
third most popular beverage after coffee and water.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
And I guess that's good. Tea's pretty healthy. So
Yeah, tea is a healthy one. We'll get to that in a minute.
we will. And it keeps going. So it's doing comparative trends. Despite overall national dominance by coffee, tea has surpassed coffee in popularity in about 30 states.
Ooh, very nice. I
Who
wouldn't
knew? Where
have.
did that come from?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Depends on where you live, I guess. I mean, if you're in
Hmm.
Seattle, you're probably thinking you're crazy, but if you're in I don't know, maybe another state, I don't know.
What state would
I'm
drink tea?
probably New England state, I'd say.
I don't know. They started the Tea Party.
I don't know. Well, let's click on the link and find out.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious on this. So
Okay.
because of that, I'm able to click the link here and it brings right up where it got it from.
30 states. Tea is more
30
popular in
states.
30 states. Which
Let's see
states
if
are
we
we
can
looking
see
at
what
here?
states are these. Oh, here it is.
Okay.
Ohio and Pennsylvania?
Ooh, more
Who's
tea,
this
huh?
guy?
I don't know. Some advertisement.
Oh, look, New
Okay.
England's devoted to coffee.
Okay. I was wrong. I was wrong. And I would never have guessed Washington would be outpacing tea with tea.
Same. Now
Because
I want.
Seattle is like coffee culture. It's like a religion out there. I've been out there, and
So
California. I would have guessed California would be a big tea consumer.
I've got a
I
huge question now I need clarification on.
hmm
Does sweet tea or iced tea count as tea?
Ah,
Because that
that
explains the entire
the South.
Southeast.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
that explains the South. You can't get unsweet tea in the South. I know that for a fact. Well,
Yeah.
maybe not, but yeah, but yeah, interesting. So yeah, that's where I kind of wonder if iced tea is okay, tea types. No, those are coffee types. Never mind.
It's coffee and tea types. Yeah.
Okay. So tea, mocha, cold brew latte. Yeah, we're just kind of reading through this. Th
Yeah.
this is why we're adamant about a YouTube video on this. But if you're listening on the
Yeah.
podcast, I appreciate it. It's very nice.
No, it is nice. But I will say what you're seeing us do right here, we are not going to do this with every source, obviously, but this is what you should do.
hmm
When you have
Absolutely.
curiosity, check the source and have a quick conversation in your head and say, wait a minute, what's going on here? And I
Yeah.
did raise up a relevant question. Does sweet tea or iced tea count as tea? I'm assuming it does.
In this study, I would assume, yeah, I
I'm
would assume
assuming.
definitely, yeah, because I know
So,
Texas is big on sweet tea as well. So,
yeah.
okay, that's an interesting conversation point. But
Yeah.
back to the point, Perplexity gives you the sources. Check the sources, look at them, and this is
Love it.
very nice. I like it, so that's it's a good thing to look at, definitely.
Yep.
But no, I like how Perplexity definitely gives you a nice little list right there.
And Brian,
So,
there's a little bit
we
more
did
to it,
that.
which I'm pretty pumped about. Like
Yeah.
there is, if you see here, they made us a table. Coffee versus tea in the United States has a little bit of the
Okay.
average price and things like that. It tells us the website that it got it from. It gives us some
Okay.
key insights. But here's what I love about Perplexity that is a very underrated feature. Well, first off, what's
Okay.
really cool, I could share this with anybody. I could share the
Okay.
search. So if I'm doing this with you, I could click this,
Yep.
give it a link, text it to you.
Oh, nice. I
But
like it.
check this out.
Let's.
It gives
Okay.
related possible topics or possible follow-up questions.
hmm
So one of the things is regional U.S. maps show tea versus coffee preference per state. Now we know which source that came from already. So if I click the plus, it will give me that information and adds it to there. But it gathers as it's answering,
Okay.
it's going through and it's verifying more sources.
Ah, very nice.
So it won't all just be from that one that we saw. It'll be from others, and it is taking the time to think.
Okay.
Now, I am hopeful when it comes up with an answer, we can then go down to the bottom and ask a follow up question. Because if you see on here at the bottom, we're able to ask a follow up question. And you can see right
Hmm.
now, it's telling us what it's doing. It's creating a chart for us.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's what I do like about some
let's see if this
of
is
these
easy to read.
LLMs too.
Hmm. I don't think the map was very good that they came up with.
It's all white. It's a whiteout. Nobody
I guess
knows.
there's no preference.
I guess
Well,
not.
it failed there a little bit, but let me ask that question and see if we can get an answer.
Okay.
Does sweet tea or iced tea count as tea
In
in this
this.
thread
Okay.
or in this subject? I think subject would be a better word.
Yeah, yeah. We'll say subject.
And let's see what it says.
Okay. I guess.
Yes, the answer is
Yes,
yes.
counted
So
as tea in the
yes.
context of UST versus coffee. Okay. So that's starting to make sense, especially down south where
Hmm.
sweet tea is like gold down there.
Hmm.
So yeah, that does kind of make sense because when I think of coffee versus tea, I initially think hot brewed loose leaf tea or tea bags right there.
Right.
So yeah, that kind of I think this actually goes into another point is if you're going to do a research topic, make sure that you get all these points down. Because in my mind is like, okay, what do people like to drink more in the morning of, coffee or tea? That was my thought when we asked
Hmm.
Perplexity this. And like I said, that would either count like the loose leaf or the tea bags or anything like that
Right.
versus, brewing a cup of coffee. And, maybe there's, other statistics that would do that kind of comparison, to which I don't think tea would hold a candle to coffee in that a specific scenario right there.
Yeah.
So this is where, this is where, with these AI tools and everything, really need to uh, get specific on what you're trying to find it. Because if you ask it this simple question, coffee versus tea consumption in America, and it gave you all these statistics, gave you all this information, but it wasn't what I quite had in my head
Hmm.
as to what we were. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure you were probably not thinking about that either until we saw the chart, the
No,
state
I
chart.
wasn't.
So,
Yeah. I
so
when
there it is with these AI
Yeah.
tools.
When I use Perplexity, I'm very specific. I want to
Hmm.
know stock prices for whatever, or I want to know. Just today, I had to do a salary comparison for work. I went right to Perplexity because there was
Hmm.
one of the factions in our business were a little nervous they might be underpaid, so we had to do research to see if they're underpaid compared to our competitors or not. I was
Hmm.
able to find half of my information just in my first two prompts for Perplexity.
Okay.
So it did the hard work for me. And by the way, this is free. So what can I do with this? We got to get over to Notebook LM pretty soon.
Oh yeah,
So
definitely.
one thing I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take that source about where the different states was. I'm just going to copy that and paste that URL, or I'm going to copy the URL so I have it.
Okay.
So this is Notebook LM.
Yes.
When it comes up, you see you have different things here. These are notebooks I've been working on for education and other things. And you go to create a new notebook. Oh, we should note you need a Google, that you have to have a Google account in order to use
Yes.
Notebook LM. That's
Yes.
important.
You don't have to pay for it,
Correct.
but to actually use it, the paid for, I believe it allows you to have more sources and a couple more
Yeah.
features as well, if I'm not correct. Because I think you're limited to maybe 50 sources for the unpaid version, if I'm not
Yes. And
mistaken.
keep in mind, that's 50 sources per notebook.
Yes, definitely.
So it's powerful. Oh, for the free version is very powerful. And what it asks you to do, it asks you to add a source right away. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click this website right here and I'm just going to paste the URL. And
Okay.
then I'm going to click insert. Then it's going to take me to the notebook that we're creating right now. So we've only put one source in right now. What you have here is a list of your sources. You can edit
Hmm.
them, you can uncheck them, you can check them. Then this is your chat feature. Think of this as like your chat GPT. Right now, I can ask this a question, but it'll only be able to base its answer off of this one source because that's all I
Yes.
have so far. And
Yes.
then over
And
here is the studio, which we're going to play with after we upload some more sources.
oh yes, it's going to be a lot of fun. And just I did a little search on the side here. The free version, yes, up to 50.
Hmm.
The Pro plan, you can get up to 300. So
Wow.
there's your big difference right there. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But there's a yeah, word count per source up to 500,000 words, file size per source up to 200 megabytes, and number of notebooks 100 per account. That's on the free. On the Pro plan, there's a lot more. So you can
Yep.
definitely have a lot of fun with it.
So what I'm doing right now is I'm copying and pasting some of the sources that Brian sent me earlier.
Yes.
And I'm just going to paste them in as sources. I know you guys can't see that right now, but I'm doing the exact same process. I'm going in and I'm just typing in the website and I'm going to add a couple of these, doing it rapidly. Otherwise, I'd have to go back and forth between sharing my screen and not sharing my screen. So right now, just trust me, I am
Yes.
simply uploading sources.
Yes, just bear with us for a sec. And
Yeah.
just to kind of
If
go over the sources while you're going through all this. The first website, I mean, like I said, I did not vet all these websites. They could be spot on, they could be wrong. This is for per uh, gosh, the word is escaping me. J just to show off what Notebook LM can do, essentially. The first source right here is from Harvard, which is healthier, coffee or tea. Then I have another article. It's from Greenwell Farms. I just kind of looked up. It's a blog site. It's how the Boston Tea Party turned Americans into coffee drinkers. Then we have the history of coffee from Nescafe.com. History of tea from Mark T. Wendell Tea Company. Shows that kind. Then not going to go through all of the websites, but coffee consumption, tea consumption in America. Those are two of the other sites, and kind of do like a little future projection of both tea and coffee. And then we have coffee prices and tea prices. So that's basically what we're putting together in this notebook, and really trying to put in a nice little research hub
Mhm.
for coffee versus tea in America. So
Brian, I am almost done uploading all these websites, but I got to say something that's
very
interesting.
nice.
If you want to upload
Uh-huh.
YouTube videos, you can
Yeah.
do that as long as there's a transcript with
Yes.
it.
Yes.
So if you have
That's
a favorite YouTuber you follow, like the Layman's AI podcast, you can
what
get
a great bunch of
all of our
guys.
feeds right on there.
Great
You
couple
can
guys
upload
right there.
all of them.
Yeah, yeah, that's another source you can do with YouTube videos. I mean, like I said, sources are the key right here. Make sure your sources are good. Make sure you check your sources. I'm gonna sound like your college professor right here or your high school teacher. But yeah, this is a nice little thing right here. So are we done uploading?
We just finished uploading, so let me go back to
Just
sharing my
finished
screen.
uploading?
Just finished.
Okay.
Now, we don't have any YouTube videos on here.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would just want to verify you could see it, Brian.
Yeah, we can see it. Yeah,
Okay.
it's all URLs. Like I said,
Yeah.
this is just a proof of concept, just to kind of show the procedure of what you can do. And
So if you take a
looks like
look
one
here,
of
Brian,
our
one of our sources
URLs
is
are
not able to be used.
okay.
So
And so we got information on that. Are we able to get information on that?
let me see. Let me click that, what it says. Sources behind a paywall. So this source
Ooh.
that we found, apparently we have to pay for it, which is not
Ah.
going to happen tonight because I want to buy coffee. I don't want to buy a paywall. So,
Yeah, yeah, we're so yeah, I think that kind of shows
mhm,
another sort of caveat of the internet. Your
correct.
sources, you might not be able to ping your sources properly. They might be locked down through cybersecurity. What should I say? My goodness, I am drawing a blank on my vocabulary tonight. Policies,
Yes.
cybersecurity policies, and everything. So data is becoming a big gold mine right here.
So something I'm going to do to get started because it might not get done while we do the other stuff. I am going to click this video overview in the studio. If you look over here, this studio is able to take all these sources. And by the way, I can uncheck the sources if I only want to use the like price of tea and historical chart, tea
Hmm.
consumption trends, tea. If I only want to focus in on my tea resources, I can do that. And then my answers in the chat, as well as my audio, video, reports, anything, all of that will just come from those three sources that I uploaded. Now, I'm not going to do that in this case. I'm going to click them all. So I want it all covered. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to check video overview. So this is basically, it's going to make a video presentation, very similar to a PowerPoint usually, a video presentation of all the sources that we put together.
Hmm.
So when I click that, it now down here says it is generating the video overview. This may take a while. That's pretty accurate. While it's
Yes.
doing that, I'm going to use the chat here to get started.
Okay.
And if you look, it gives you a suggested question, Brian.
Yeah. What factors are contributing to the rising popularity of tea over coffee?
In the United States. I think I want to know that.
Okay, let's ask.
So I click it. Now we're basically working with this the same way we would with Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, except it's pulling its answers from the sources that we gave it. It's not doing an internet search. It's not going around looking for sources. It's just given what we gave it. Now, what
Yes.
I love about this, like Perplexity, gives you where it got its answer from.
Hmm. Which
So,
is our sources.
correct. So it says while American adults still consume coffee daily at a higher rate than tea, with 66% drinking coffee each day, surpassing tea, soda, juice, all that stuff, and water, it gives us the source. We know that that source came from uh,
National Coffee
National Coffee
Association.
Association. Yep. So that's what's going on here. Health awareness and
Yes.
benefits. Younger generations, specifically millennials and Gen Z, are increasingly drawn to specialty teas such as green tea, matcha, herbal teas due to the heightened awareness of health. I believe that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think tea is generally more healthy. I'm an
I
avid
agree.
coffee drinker, but
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
not too worried about it. But coffee isn't bad for you, so to say. I've heard
Yeah.
a lot of people add, all the creamers and the sugars and everything, and that's what makes it unhealthy,
Hmm.
essentially. So if you drink straight black coffee or get some flavors in there, it's a little healthier.
Yeah,
Um,
I did have a
but
doctor say there are some
yeah.
sweeteners that are okay. I mean, he did say
Yeah.
that the stevia has proven that it's not necessarily a bad.
Hmm.
But like he did say, avoid Splenda, avoid Sweet and Low. But you know
Yeah.
what? We're here for a good time. We're not here for a long time. So
Exactly.
if you're like me, that's more of a suggestion than a do this.
Hmm.
So my coffee still has Splenda in it when I go to Starbucks. So
Yeah, straight black for me. Straight black for me.
oh goodness, oh
Yeah, I
goodness.
know. I get a lot of looks. Everyone thinks it's weird. It's like, the most boring way to take your coffee is the most interesting one among people,
Hmm.
which I found interesting. But yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. If you ever go to the Caribbean, we went to the Dominican Republic on our honeymoon, my wife and we had coffee straight off the plantation,
Oh, I bet that was
and
amazing.
we had coffee at the resort and everything, and I'm like, my goodness, what am I drinking at home? So after drinking that for a week, I came home and started drinking the cast off coffee that we get in America. I'm like, man, what am I doing here?
I,
But
I,
that's a nice little caveat.
it's good to know. I mean, it is when you have fresh
Definitely.
coffee for the first time. When you have good coffee, it's amazing. I got to have very good coffee once when I was in North Carolina because somebody I knew, their grandson or son was trying to adopt a child
Hmm.
from Africa, and they were selling coffee beans as a fundraiser to help pay for the adoption.
Okay.
And these were straight from Ethiopia, and they had these seals on them that basically it said once you open it, you have like 6 days to drink all this.
Uh,
And I got to admit
Fresh.
that was some of the best coffee I ever had in my life to this
Hmm.
day. I mean, I remember hunting her down in school, saying, "I need more of that coffee." It was that good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
we don't understand how other countries have just better coffee growing than we do,
mhm.
which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway,
So
yeah, that's a pretty good little explanation right there.
it does. It's a
Um,
long explanation. So
yeah.
let me. I'm curious about this. Let me try to trick it up a little bit. I'm going to
Sure.
ask the same question that I asked Perplexity and see what it says.
Okay.
So, does sweet tea and iced tea count as tea in these studies?
Okay.
And let's see what it says.
Yeah, we're gonna take a look. We're gonna see if it's able to come through for us.
Yeah, I just want to point out to those who can't see what's going on right now is that the video is still generating in the studio. So it is nice because we are able to ask these questions to get clarification on things while this video is generating itself. And the
Yes.
answer to our question is yes, that forms of tea, including ready to drink bottled teas, which would encompass sweet tea and iced teas. I wonder
Ah,
what the ratio is between healthy tea and sweet tea.
yeah, that would be kind of something interesting because the ready to drink, I think we all know ready to drink
Yeah,
is not the healthiest way to go. Like much respect to Arizona iced tea, because they're able to, in spite of inflation over the past 30 years, they're still able to sell those cans for 99 cents. But they're probably not the healthiest tea. Um, but yeah, that is interesting. So it does give us some of that right there.
I'm going to
Uh,
see if it
Give
knows
the
the
same
answer.
conclusion.
So I'm going to follow up with another question. What is the ratio between healthy and unhealthy teas on these sources? I think it should be in these sources. Yes, that is correct. In these sources.
Yes, and it corrected you. Very nice.
It did correct me. That might have been Grammarly. I'm not.
Well, the fact that it uses Grammarly is
Mhm.
very nice right there.
So it says the provided sources primarily highlight the health benefits and positive attributes of various teas. I think it's politely telling us it doesn't have an answer to that.
Yeah, I think I'm kind
In
of
a very
skimming through this.
long-winded way.
Yes, so we would need more sources for this.
Yeah.
So essentially, what NotebookLM just told us is that based on the sources that we provided for this notebook, it can't answer
Hmm.
the question. So
Correct.
this is where an LLM comes in handy, because it can
It
search
does.
everything for you.
Hmm.
So kind of, so we're kind of seeing the limits of a NotebookLM right now.
We are. But I
It
want to
is
talk
like
about
you can't ask too many questions.
I want to talk about another feature because at one point we got some information that was pulled together that
Hmm.
the video might not be doing right now because it's based off all this. Something I can do is I can save all of this conversation to Note.
Okay.
So when I save to Note, if you look in the studio right here, it says
Hmm.
health benefits of tea. Then I could do more. I could convert this to a source.
Ah.
So I could take the conversation I just had with it. If it was a good conversation and brought up stuff I want to make sure that I remember, I convert it to a source, and there it is right there.
Yeah, it creates a source based on your sources.
Correct.
This could get dangerous. I will admit
It
that this could get
it
dangerous.
could get dangerous if this is where you start inputting
Hmm.
incorrect stuff.
Yes. Like these are self-inflicted hallucinations right here is
Yes.
where you can get very dangerous. It could have some benefits, it could have some good things. But like I said, this
Oh,
could
Brian,
really get dangerous. And I see the video just
the
completed.
video's ready.
Okay, the video is
The
ready.
video
So
is ready.
how
I hope
long
I can
is this?
play it. I don't know yet. I hope it plays, and I hope
Okay.
everybody's able to hear and see it. We're not going to show the whole video. Maybe we'll
Okay.
share it later in the week. But
Yeah.
let me show you what it come up with.
You can check our socials for the full video.
The video is 5 minutes and 51 seconds.
Yeah, not bad.
And it does source it. And by the way, this seems to be a common theme, a somewhat minimalistic, like what you like.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes from there. Hopefully, you guys can hear this. We're going to play it for a minute.
All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're staging the ultimate showdown between two absolute titans of our daily lives, coffee and tea. It's a battle for our mugs, for our mornings, and for our wallets. So which one truly reigns supreme? Let's find out. Okay, so we gotta kick things off with the one many of us just assume is the undisputed king. For millions, the day doesn't even start until that first cup of coffee hits. But is it really the undisputed champ? Let's look at the evidence. First up, let's follow the money. And wow, what a number. We're talking $473.1 billion.
So I know I'm stopping it early, but what do you think of the flow of this presentation already?
So far it looks pretty good. It looks like a nice little sort of PowerPoint almost. A little bit different than
Hmm.
PowerPoint, obviously, because Google does has some different
Story unfolding behind the
kind
scenes.
of
So as you fast forward, it basically
Just
gives you
is
some of
really
the
just
facts
a
and things like that. We don't want to waste too
yeah.
much time on this. I don't want to say waste, but if you're a visual and auditory learner,
Hmm.
you just basically got a mini lecture on coffee and tea based on the sources you just put in there.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and
And this is downloadable. This is shareable.
hmm
Um, if I am a teacher and I have a good unit plan and I have it all together, I may ask NotebookLM to make the video of it. And if a student's absent, here you go. Check out the video so you're not
Hmm.
behind in the content as part of this.
Yeah, this is definitely cool. And yeah, I mean you could do a straight up podcast with this too. If you
You
just
can,
want
yeah.
kind of like a audio learner and everything.
So
But no,
if I click audio here in the
hmm
studio, that will take you to it'll basically do the same thing, except it'll create a podcast to you. And what's
yeah,
interesting is it's a male and a female talking, and it's very lifelike. There's
yeah.
pauses, there's every now and then an adjustment to their voice. There's things like that
Yeah, a little
happen in
back and
there.
forth banter like you hear on right here we're going through. But yeah, so I mean those are some pretty cool features, definitely.
Hmm.
But one thing I'd like to go into now with one of the features, the mind map. Why
The
don't you
mind map.
like
Everybody loves the
walk
mind map.
yeah,
This is
walk us through
basically
this.
your vocabulary and visual learning
Hmm.
expert here.
Yeah, so generating the mind map based on 11 sources.
Hmm.
And this I'm not sure how long this takes.
The mind maps usually don't take that long.
Okay, definitely.
So while it's doing that, I'm going to
Hmm.
take a minute here and I'm going to ask it to generate. I'm back in the chat and I'm going to ask
Uh-huh.
it to generate a study guide for me if I was being tested on this information. Include the correct answers.
Okay.
So I haven't asked it I'm asking it to actually do a task of creating something for me, such
Hmm.
as a quick study guide.
Yes, that is a very good one too. And another sort of feature, this kind of flows into what you wanted to do, does a quiz and flashcards as well,
It does. It does quizzes and flashcards as
which
well.
is pretty nice. And this is
It is.
where you can really get some good use out of this as well.
Yep. And here it is. Question with the answer and includes the sources where it got it from.
Uh-huh.
And Brian, I'm not sure if you could see the tab here, but
Oh
it
yeah.
gave me a lot of questions.
Yes, and this is just about a dozen URLs that we provided too.
Right.
So that's a very good one right there. But it also looks like our mind map is completed.
Our mind map is completed. So let's take a look at
So,
that.
oh, yep, definitely. Okay, now we're getting into a flow chart here,
It
which is
is,
pretty
but it's
cool.
an interactive. So I click and drag. So it
Hmm.
says coffee and tea market trends in 2025. The coffee market trends, then it leads to the tea market trends, and then the coffee versus tea health and other comparisons. So
Okay.
if I just want to take a look at, if I'm just interested in exploring the tea market trends, I click this arrow.
And now we have a whole list: global popularity and growth, consumption by age group, geographical, socioeconomic, future outlook, et cetera, et cetera.
Hmm.
But yeah, it gives you a lot of things to look at. So if you're interested in just kind of linking to new sources and what have you, this could really break down your sources very well.
It does. So in
And
this case, let's just say I want to learn more about tea history. So I just
mhm,
click this arrow right here, and it provides more arrows. Now, interestingly enough, I'm curious if the coffee trends, because when I click that, that's going to open up. It has
yep,
a history of coffee. So I click that. So what I've done here is I only have them, and look how they're aligned. So right
yep,
here is the history of coffee. Right here is your history of tea. What that does
hmm
is it gives you similar topics. It gives you a breakdown, a visual breakdown of what the history is, including origins, um, introduction to Europe in some of them, arrival to the New World in the Americas, and it's really neat because I there's so much to explore because there's so many arrows that can be clicked, and I mean, right here is
hmm
something with the tea history, evolution in Chinese dynasties,
yep. Then
and
it
I think
goes
that
even
is the
further, and
yeah,
that
it
kind of
tells
brings us
you
to the
all
end.
four. Now,
Yeah, and it
when you
brings you to
click
your
this,
sources. So yeah, let's click on a source here. Ming, what was it? The
it
Tang
changes the chat.
Dynasty. Tang Dynasty tax imposed in the larger context of evolution of Chinese dynasties. So basically, this is a tax on tea, I do believe.
Hmm. But
And this is where, okay, go ahead.
what I love about this is the mind map took me to a point where I was interested in hearing about it, and all I had to do was click it, and then the chat instantly switches over to everything that it got for that part of the
Hmm.
mind map. So if I'm only comparing, if I'm at the point of my research where I'm only comparing the history of the two and maybe the relationship they have in China or the development of coffee drinking in China comparing to the coffee drinking of tea, or excuse me, the drinking of tea in China, I could click these sources. I can save this as a source and upload it. So I could save this note, makes a
Hmm.
note over here. I can now add this to my sources, and now that's over there.
Yes.
I could do the same thing with the coffee one and put that over there,
Hmm.
uncheck all these sources, and then I can have a conversation just about coffee and tea in China.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I will question is creating a source from your sources really worth it? I mean, I can see maybe it has a few benefits, but I'm kind of curious as to how useful that actually is. This is just me kind of
Mhm.
playing devil's advocate here.
You absolutely bring up a good point. What's nice about that, the only way I see that being very beneficial is if I'm looking for something specific and need to send it to somebody or email it to myself
Okay.
because it's all
Yeah,
referencing the same thing.
I can see save to note, and then you could. What are the other options when you save to note? I know there was a save to source, or you could.
You could convert the source, convert all notes to sources,
Okay.
and then you can delete.
Okay. So yeah, if you convert it to source, yeah, then you can like kind of save it and send it out. That's fine.
And
Okay.
still in
That
the
that
studio right here, I want to click reports real quick. If you see it brings up a different type of report, you could do create
hmm
your own, a briefing document. You can actually do a study guide that's on there. You could do a blog post. Well, it will do it for you. So I wouldn't recommend doing that and claiming that it's yours. But it
Yeah.
does give you some suggested formats. So I could do a market analysis report. I could
Uh-huh.
do a strategic white paper, a historical narrative, or a comparative overview. Brian, are any of these of interest to you?
You know what? I want to do a market analysis
Me
report.
too. Yay. We're on the
Yeah.
same page.
Yes, we did the business. So we go to the market analysis report, and
And
boom, we
now it's
got a
generating the report
report
for
that's
us.
generated.
Yep.
And this is really where, you could get a lot of good work done and everything,
Yes.
based on papers that you write, and then it could take the papers you write and create more papers and summaries and synopsises and everything. And this is really where, if you do your research, if you do your studies, if you do your experiments, like if you're working in a lab or something, you can really put all your data in here. And can you actually do Excel spreadsheets here into this?
I think you can add anything that is, let me see, can I? Yes, I believe I can add like a Google Sheets to this
Okay,
as a
yeah,
source. Um, so let me
yeah,
see.
because
I
I
don't know
can
how we
see
would do that.
this.
Hmm?
Uh, can't do Excel spreadsheets in NotebookLM. Had to do a little search. So Google Docs, PDFs, URLs, YouTube, audio, copy and paste the text. So there's no real Excel support right now for NotebookLM. That was just something I was curious because
No, but I'm fairly confident you could put Sheets in there.
yeah, I'm looking at this. Google Slides. You're talking about Google Sheets?
Yes. Which, if you don't know Google Sheet, I'm talking to the audience here. Google Sheets is very similar to Excel.
Okay, I'm asking Gemini these questions on the side over here. No, you can't do Google Sheets.
You cannot do Google Sheets.
Cannot do Google Sheets. What I'm
Hmm.
thinking that this is that people are wanting to try this for some sort of data analysis. Like if you're like a chemist or an engineer or any kind of like testing or anything, you gather data, gather data, and you put this in like, a lot of times spreadsheet formats or what have you. So
Yeah.
I can
Well,
see maybe it's not the capabilities aren't quite there yet.
no,
So
but
you
I'm
would have to
thinking
do your
about
own
if
thing.
I'm using this as a learning tool. This is more of the you're trying to get to that understanding level. When
Yeah.
you actually get to the higher levels of like Bloom's revised taxonomy,
hmm
you're really when you're talking about data evaluation, that's where you really should use an LLM. Upload
hmm
those to ChatGPT, Google Gemini. Ask the good questions so that it based its answer off of what you've uploaded. I think this is more of exploration of topic as opposed to doing an actual analysis. So I do feel like
Yeah.
it's almost like an evolution of what tool you should use for what learning capabilities, or what tool should you use to get the job that you need, the task that you're looking to do done.
Yeah, I would like kind of agree with that. Like, this is me just kind of like wondering the limits of Notebook LM, and I think we found like one of its limits right here, is you can't really do data
Mhm.
analysis with it just yet. You could just kind of do your own sort of
Right.
notes and everything and your own PDFs. You
This
can
is your research
analyze.
guru. This is your
Yep.
research guru helping you understand stuff that you may not understand.
Yeah.
If I wanted to, I could probably type in this chat right now, explain it to me like I'm a 5 year old, and it
hmm
probably would do that correctly.
It probably would, but we have a market analysis report
We
from
do.
Notebook LM, so let's see what it has here. Okay, report. Global Titans in the beverage sector. And I think coffee and tea.
Look
Yeah,
at
it
how
gives a
long
nice
this
little
is.
report, cultural significances, origins, etc., etc. Gives a lot of points here. Oh, gives a nice little chart. I like charts. The
Now,
engineer in me loves charts.
let's assume we vetted this and went
hmm
through it and were impressed with it.
Yes.
We can now convert this to another source. Again,
Yes.
it's still based off of our data, but
hmm
this may make things a little easier for it to recall because this is an actual market analysis.
Yes. So this right here, we could really put together a good report and we could actually have something presentable, in my opinion.
Yeah, and
And this is very nice, but it all goes back to your original sources that you uploaded in Notebook LM. You
if
gotta
you have
trust
good
them.
sources in here, you're going to have a fair report. I would always
hmm
say to vet it. Don't turn it in as if it's your own.
hmm
But there are some good statistics in here, Brian. Like
Yeah,
it definitely did some sort of analysis as it's talking about the rise of specialty
specialty
coffees.
coffees. Yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
see that. Rise, kind of youth-oriented products,
Here's your health and wellness.
wellness. Yeah, health and wellness. It does a nice little chart there.
That's almost
Uh,
this is almost too comprehensive of a report.
yeah, for what we
Hmm.
gave it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I because we like I said, we gave them like a dozen URLs,
Yeah.
which we could kind of yeah, I'm not trusting the report to be honest with you. Like I said, this is just kind of like show you the concepts, and the how you like go through the procedures and everything. But the potential for me is definitely there,
Hmm.
and I can also see a good scaffolding. With the notebooks and everything, like you can get some of these kind of market reports based on, let's say 300 sources if you have the Pro,
Hmm.
and you have like a market report for, this sector, this business sector, that business sector, and you can get like, maybe 300 reports um, through Notebook LM that are all based on 300 sources apiece, and then you could really put together some good market analysis if your
Hmm.
original sources are good. So, with creating that source, like you can have the option to, like with the reports and everything, you could really put together like a good scaffolded project through this if you do it correctly.
You certainly can. And it goes back to what we've been saying. The data that you give the LLM makes it the best if it's good data. It's the same thing here. It goes, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it goes back to the sources that you put into it. And we
hmm
just picked websites and we just trust that these websites are accurate. But if
Yeah.
you do some authentic research, only have a couple of websites, but have a lot more PDFs of specific research,
hmm
you've got a little bit of a better product there. You got a little bit better data that you're dealing with.
Yes, and I'd also like to point out, if you're watching this video, you're probably going to catch some of our sources on here. We are in no means saying that your sources are bad.
Oh, yeah.
If you're one of the people that kind of sees, oh, you're telling me my source is bad, by no means are we saying that. We're just saying that we personally did not vet these sources. So, like I
Correct.
said, we are, for all we know, our sources could be spot on, but we did not like do the full vetting of the process. I'm just trying to, you know, CYA right here a little bit.
Yep.
Um,
And it makes sense.
yeah, but no, I mean, I really like this tool. I think it has a really
Yeah.
good way of like putting together reports, especially if you're a student. This is a really good way to study for those finals, in
It,
my opinion.
it is. It's an excellent research tool. If I was a college student today, I would have every course its own notebook LM. I'd have the course
Oh
syllabus
yeah.
in there. I would have any PDF that the professor gives me.
Hmm.
I would upload it all and I would utilize it as best I can. I would upload my notes, everything.
Yeah, this would be my go-to for every single class, and it could really help you learn.
Mhm.
But, going back to it, it's all based on the sources. But I think that about wraps it up for this episode, Adam, unless you got something else you want to look at.
Oh,
I think we're
I can
pretty
go all night, but I don't want to.
Yeah, 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 definitely. But no, I really think we did a good job of showing you what it can do. Keyword, check your sources. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
And I will say, if you're interested in learning more about Notebook LM, please use YouTube. There
Hmm.
are guys who have lots of videos out there.
Hmm.
Some of them will try to make you buy the paid version. That's up to you. But I tell everybody, don't buy a paid version until you've played with the tool for a long, long time and actually need it. I love AI. I have never had a need to pay for Notebook LM or
Hmm.
Perplexity right now.
Hmm.
So I'm not telling you not to do it, but I am saying that you consider it before, consider your finances before you start paying for or a whole bunch of AI tools.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Like you could spend like hundreds of dollars a month on tools that you're not going to use, but
right.
yeah, either way, I think this is a great tool. I like it. I'm probably going to start using more of it in my professional life, anyways. But either way, I hope everyone enjoyed today's episode. We had a lot of fun demonstrating. If you're listening, we encourage you to find the YouTube video
Yes.
just to kind of get a little bit of visuals on this. But, we kind of get a good explanation as well, audio wise. But either way, thank you so much for taking time out of your day this evening. My name is Brian,
And I am Adam.
and thank you for listening to Layman's AI, and we will see you next time.